Richician! Hey YouTube, Richician84 here, finally doing another past format deck profile. And this one is for my March 2012 Dark Magician Hero deck. I thought I already did a profile on it, but I guess I didn't. So yeah, I'm getting around to profiling the rest of the decks that I use in the Endurance, or plan to, the past format one that is. So yeah, even though I hated the March 2012 format, at the same time this was my best build of Dark Magician Hero, or at least the most fun one, I should say. So yeah, this was what basically took the mantle of Legendary Hero back then, purely because I missed the focus being on Dark Magician. I did of course try to make this deck and try to make it work near the end of 2011, but it didn't work very well. It was too bricky and inconsistent, but I figured out a better way to run it. Now, even though this wasn't its most successful format, like how that would come in the March 13 format, I still liked this variant more. So anyway, let's just get right into it. Now, despite Dark Magician being the boss monster, I play 2 copies of him, plus Destiny Hero Dasher as another way to special summon Dark Magician more easily, although I need to be able to draw it in my draw phase. Then for Elemental Heroes, I've got Stratos, 2 copies of Prisma. Oh, I should also point out that this is almost exactly how I played it back then, with only one difference, which I'll show you shortly. Sparkman, Ocean, Burstinatrix. Now, if you're wondering why the hell I'm playing Burstinatrix in this, it's because I run Nova Master and I need a fire monster to be able to go into it. Plus I run Flame Wingman, so I can reveal Flame Wingman with Prisma and send Burstinatrix. And then the last element here is Ice Edge. Then after that, 3 copies of King of the Swamp and a single copy of Max C. Now obviously I didn't have it at the time, because it was only out as a secret rare, and it was way too expensive and too difficult to get hold of. But I would have liked to have 1 or 2, mainly to counter wind-ups, really. I mean, they can loot me as much as they want, I'm still going to draw lots of cards to replace what I lost. Or at least that was the plan, anyway. Now, even though it was at 3 at the time, I only had room for just the 1. Then Dandelion, and 2 copies of Battle Fader. These are my original copies, by the way, and the Ultimate Rare version. 1 first ed, 1 not. I've had these since 2011, I think. Sorry about the glare. Yeah, I love having the option of running my favourite hand trap if I can, and the last monster is Treeborn Frog. And that's it for the monsters. On with spells. So for the spells, I've got Reinforcement of the Army, 3 copies of E-Emergency Call, 3 copies of Miracle Fusion, just 2 copies of Polymerization. I guess I felt like 3 would be a bit cloggy. Then Future Fusion, Yeah, this was the last format where the pre-errated version could be played before it got banned, thanks to Chaos Dragons, and then the staples, which is the main spell trio, has been since two of them ended up getting banned: Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and Monster Reborn. And finally, 2 copies of MST. And that's it for spells. On with the traps. So I've got Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, Call of the Haunted, 2 copies of Fiendish Chain. I think these are 2 of my original copies. And the last trap is 2 copies of Safe Zone. Now, the idea of running Safe Zone came from another YouTuber who played Heroes, Croa Cresta. I don't know how many of you remember him, but yeah, he would play it in some of his hero decks and mainly use it to protect Ocean, just to stop it from being destroyed, and then it could keep adding heroes from field or grave back to the hand every one of my standby phases. Of course, alternatively, I like to use it on Dark Magician to give him some protection. Oh, and for those who don't know what it does, or don't remember what it does, it says activate by targeting a face-up attack position monster on the field. That face-up monster cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects, or be destroyed by battle, and it can't attack the opponent directly. However, when this leaves the field, destroy that monster, and then when that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So basically it's a mini version of Eternal Soul, in a way. Now, of course, rather annoyingly, there was some confusion around this card, revolving what happens if I use it on an opponent's monster, because, yeah, you actually can use this on an opponent's monster, but I assumed if I did that it couldn't attack me directly, but the wording says otherwise. So yeah, it can still attack me directly, but I think the idea of equipping it to an opponent's monster is if there's a situation where, like, it's face down and it would get popped by like a Heavy Storm or an MST, and I could chain this card and equip it to an opponent's monster so that that monster gets destroyed as well. So confusing rulings, I know, but yeah, that's the way it is. Anyway, on with the extra deck. So I've got Dark Paladin, my fusion of choice. And for Elemental Hero fusions, I also have Great Tornado, Nova Master, 2 copies of The Shining, then Shining Flare Wingman, because I do have Sparkman, then 2 copies of Absolute Zero, Terra Firma. This is another fusion I can bring out, but I can also reveal this card of Prisma and send Ocean, which gives me a water, so I can bring out Absolute Zero with Miracle Fusion if need be. Then Gaia and Flame Wingman. And then I also have the Vision Heroes as well, to add to the excitement, Adoration and Trinity. I do wonder if we'll ever get more Vision Hero fusions. That would be cool. I thought I'd throw them in because, well, for one thing, we didn't have Escoridao in the game just yet. which did make things a little awkward because it meant I couldn't fuse my elemental heroes with any dark monsters to make anything. Although I could fuse an elemental hero with Dasher to make any of these, so it's fine. And then there's just 2 Xyz monsters in here, Utopia and Heroic Champion Excalibur. Because Excalibur came out in Return of the Duelist, near the end of that format, I have absolutely no idea if cards from Return of the Duelist are actually legal in March 2012 format decks. And knowing my luck, they're probably not. If it's following the same rule as Goat, September 07 and Edison, where, like I said, for Goat format, cards from Cybernetic Revolution and the 2005 collectible tins can't be used, while for September 07, cards from Phantom Darkness can't be used, and for Edison format, cards from the Shining Darkness, presumably the starter deck, and Duelist Revolution can't be used. Someone would have to confirm that, but if that's the case, that is not a problem. I can easily swap out Excalibur for something else. Even though I do like Excalibur, like, it's a really cool rank 4 which complements the deck. But yeah, that is the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment, share and subscribe if you haven't subbed already. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.